could just sit here all day listening, Neal.
It's got a great feel in his hands. It's a wonderful song.
It does. Shawn Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. We're NAMM 2013 at the Paul Reed Smith Guitars booth. We've got Neal Schon here, Paul Reed Smith. We're going to talk about the genesis of the new signature model you've got here. Neal, tell us how this started.
You know, this guitar actually started out with Paul's another guitar that Paul Jackson had with Paul Reed, and I went to the factory and I loved it so much I plugged in and I was like, this thing sounds amazing, and I go, can I have it? And so he gave it to me and I took it home, and after playing it for a while I realized that I loved the guitar, but I wanted to make some changes if he was willing to do a different version of it. For one, I wanted to get easier access to the top here, more so than on the jazz box, where you're kind of reaching like this to get up on top. And so we talked about moving the neck out. Also talked to him about making the body a bit thinner. And also the first models that we made were completely hollow, or just solid right under here to there, and the rest of it was hollow. Now these new models, after playing it for a while, I love the way the other ones sound too, but I had some feedback issues on stage, so we've gone straight down the middle with mahogany and gotten rid of those problems. And the guitar sounds amazing live, and I'm loving it. The second I put it on, I haven't taken it off, you know, and I play it for the whole night, and it gets an amazingly fat tone. I mean, you know, something I think you just do not get out of solid bodies is semi-acoustic vibe of this guitar, much like an early 335 that was made well. You know, it resonates, and you know, when you're playing through an amp that really has some gusto or even like a higher gain, it sounds like you're playing through a pedal that would give you that violin sound, but it's a natural compression that's happening. Yeah, it's breathing, you know. And I just found the guitar to be very versatile, and we listened to it a couple different ways with his bridge, and I listened to it with this, and I felt that this one, actually the Floyd sounded good on the body, as much as there's so many people that balk at it. A lot of people balk at it and go, what do you put in a Floyd on that guitar for? It looks, you know.
I think it's going to rob it of tone and sustain.
Exactly, but it does exactly the opposite. It gives it some stout, and I'm really curious. We're going to make one now that has his stock wraparound tailpiece, and I love those. And I love the way the action plays, because they're just a shorter string bass, and the solidness of it just sitting in the body too. But we put a push-pull tone knob on this as well. When it's in, it's a regular tone knob, and when you pull it out, it's pretty much like a veritone. Let's see if we can hear it.
Now, Paul, what exactly is happening when you pull that up? Is it just a straight coil tap?
No, this is a proprietary circuit that he and Gary came up with. Gary has been his repairman for a very, very long time. It's got an inductor in it, a very, very special inductor in it. There's never been a tone control like it. It takes out this one certain mid-range note, which makes it sound much more like a Strat. It's a really cool circuit, and it only comes on his guitar. Actually, it's a fairly expensive part in it that you have to custom make to get it right, but we really like it. The other thing I want to say about this guitar is we changed the shape of the F-holes, and we also moved where the knobs were, and we had to move we had a lot of things to do to get this guitar, so it served him as a tool to make a living on.
Cool.
And by the way, when we're doing the demos, he's a big Clapton fan, and not just Neal Schon tones, it gets a lot of other people's sounds too.
Yeah, that's what happened when I played the original model. We were downstairs in his building, and we had it cranked, and it was like ear-bleeding volume in there, but it sounded like so much like, you know, the Wheels of Fire record and all the old Cream stuff. I was just like, this thing.
That woman tone? I
love that, man. Yeah. And so, and I'm loving the fact that I've always like a little bit bigger box, and the 14 is really, really streamlined now. And I can't wait to get that on stage and check it out and see the differences between the guitars. But I really like holding on to this guitar, you know. And it's just very comfortable. The playability is like amazing, and the workmanship is definitely the best.
Sweet. Wait, now, Paul, I was going to ask earlier. So the original guitar that Neal tried from Paul Jackson Jr., what model was it?
That was a J15, and we make two of these Neal Schon guitars. We make a 15-inch and we make a 14-inch. There's one that's even smaller than this that has more of a rock and roll pickup in the treble position. This one has a spruce top, and the 14s have curly maple tops. So that was the beginning of the genesis of this work. I think we spent the last, what, year and a half on this project, Neal, 2 years, something like that? We've been on the phone nonstop for 2 years working on this model, something like that? He's been
Gotten caught up in the sound, man.
Look, Neal loves guitars. It's clear he loves guitars. Look,
Cars, bikes, cars, guitars.
I like really good gear. My wife, when I'm at night looking for a specific old something for the studio, she goes, "Are you sledding?" Because I'm a gear slut. That's just the way it
You're
is.
both sledding, guys. All right, where can people go to find out more about this online?
At prsguitars.com by watching this video. In a way, these videos are being shot right now for the first time because he's holding these first prototypes. We'll go back and make all the little teeny adjustments that he wants done to it. This is a wonderful guitar, though.
I love the neck joint on this guitar and the neck size of this guitar. This is the same neck that we used in the private stock Neal Schon model that we did this last year. And it's really, it's an amazing neck because there's always something to hold on to, and it just progressively gets a little bit wider near the bottom. And these guitars in particular have a little bit wider neck this way too, to accommodate the Floyd, so that you're not slipping off the frets. Yeah.
Here's the neck joint on the 14, Neal. You can show them this.
Okay. And this is something very similar to what I used to have, and now it's the new version of it.
So this is the prototype that has a different design, and then the production models will have this?
This is a beautiful sculpted 15-inch version. This is a sculpted like they've seen on some past Neal Schon models. And this one is completely into the body as one piece. This one is where the heel is very, very small. I've never even seen a heel that small on a guitar in my life. I really think it's gorgeous. But this one's integrated like the neck grew out of the body. This one was a little bit separated. But I think Neal did a very good job designing this stuff.
Very cool.
By the way, I stayed out of his way. And he came and literally sat at the computers and designed this stuff. Yeah.
Neal, Paul, thanks so much for telling us about the new guitar. I'm Shawn Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. Thanks for watching.